Good Yantif. Shana Tova. Shana Tova. Let us not make tonight a mumbly night. I will do my very best to bring my full shofarish presence, and I invite you, please, to bring your shofarish presences right back. May we fill this space with ruach. May we fill this space with spirit, with joy, audacity, and our honest song. We will begin now, first with thanks to Jeremy Parati, who opened our space so beautifully with his playing. And I would like to invite up to light our candles, our holiday candles. I'm going to invite up anyone who joined Shir Tikvah since COVID started, which means that we haven't necessarily gotten to meet each other in person. So I'm going to invite anyone who has joined Shir Tikvah as a member since COVID began in March 2020 to please join us here on the Bima and to kindle our Yom Kippur lights. Come on down. Ya, 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 la, lo. Ay, ay. Members, take a moment and introduce yourselves to each other. This is your community. And then we will kindle, and if you're at home, I invite you please to kindle along with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kirishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Yom HaKippurim. Amen. Good Yantif. Thank you so much. So welcome to each of you. Welcome to this moment. Let's take a breath together. Let us take a breath and just come to presence as we enter this potent, sacred time of Yom Kippur. So my name is Rabbi Ariel Lekach Rosenberg. I am swathed in white and have light skin and brown hair, and I am so glad to be here with Rabbi Joey Glick.
My name is Rabbi Joey Glick, also swathed in white, also long, curly brown hair. And, looking probably some combination of excited and nervous this evening.
And we're so glad to be joined by our incredible davening team, Brian Becker and Kestrel Feiner-Homer and MJ Gilbert, with our powerful choir, and this community that is showing up strong tonight here in the sanctuary at St. John's, on YouTube, and on Zoom. So I want to begin tonight with heartfelt words of thanks. Thank you to the staff here at St. John's and to Twin City Sound for hosting us, for tending to so many logistical details, and for being such incredible partners in these services. Thank you to Shir Tikvah's staff, to Forrest and Gordon and Jess and Nicolina and Reina, who have given their hearts and their energy to making sure that this deep community celebration and observance comes to fruition. This is a labor of love. a labor of commitment, and so thank you to each of our staff. Thank you to all of our community volunteers who have helped us reach this moment, our shomrim, our ushers and greeters, our board, our transcript creators, our Makom Minyan mavens, modim anachnu, grateful are we. Thank you to the fullness of our Shir Tikvah team. And as we ground ourselves in this moment in time, we acknowledge also the ground that we stand on. We are here on the ancestral and unceded land of the Dakota people, here in South Minneapolis in Minnesota. A few technical notes before we get started, and then I'll offer a kavanah. We can't pray unless we know these things, unless we're oriented together. If you are looking for restrooms, please head through those doors or back into the atrium where folks will be happy to show you your way to the bathroom. Our nearest exits are located back where you came in and also through these side doors. It's going to be a night, folks. If you have any accessibility needs or questions, please see a staff member outside. Masks are required here at all times inside of St. Joan of Arc, and if needed, please take mask breaks outside. This is a day of fasting, and we recognize that this looks different for each of our bodies. We honor everyone's engagement with this holiday and ask as much as possible, if you're eating and drinking during this holiday, that you do so outside in the atrium or in a smaller room. But also, please do exactly what you need to do in your body to be present and to be prayerful. So if that means eating and drinking in the sanctuary, welcome to you. Let us please do what we need to do to be able to be present in our spiritual work and present with each other. And I'm just going to ask, because we are more people than we are machzorim, prayer books, I'm going to ask you, please notice if the people around you don't have a prayer book and offer to share. It's a great way to know each other. So I'm going to invite you to take this moment. If you're on Zoom, take a moment to wave to each other. If you're in the space, just turn for a moment, one moment, and greet each other. And I'll bring you back with a nigun.
What's that?
They're so cute.
Dangerous. Gonna give you a hug before we get going for real.
Oh my gosh. It's going to be exactly what Ya la 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 ya ya la 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 ya 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 la lo la 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 ya ya la yo la 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 ya 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 la lo. So in preparing to recite Kol Nidrei, the choir and I have been wrestling with the spiritual work of why we recite Kol Nidrei 3 times. We've already sung it once. What are we supposed to be doing with ourselves the second and the third repetitions? So when we recite Kol Nidrei, we are seeking to release ourselves from that which does not serve us from the year past, to release ourselves from resentments, commitments, entanglements that are getting in the way of us entering the year fully. And so with each successive repetition of Kol Nidrei, we have the chance to check in with ourselves and to go a little bit deeper. We get to ask ourselves, what commitments am I holding on to that no longer serve me? What heaviness is weighing on me that I am going to seek to shift? What emotional tangles are binding me up that I can ask with each repetition of Kol Nidrei to loosen or to fall away? So we begin with the haunting and hypnotic words of Kol Nidrei, which envelop us like a spell, which release us from the stories that we have committed ourselves to from last year until now, and from now into the new year. These words are imbued with the powers of our ancestors and the hope for our descendants. So let us receive them like the magical incantation that they are, a wave of release, undoing all the ways that we confine and constrain ourselves, constricting what possible futures can unfold. So let us not lose the power of this moment. Let us claim the power of these repetitions and ask this legal formula and powerful melody to do their work on us. So I'm going to invite, this is such a joy after years of not having folks on the bima with us. It is my joy and my honor to invite our current and past board presidents to join us here on the bima to hold our Torot during the recitations of Kol Nidrei. And so I welcome to the bima Jane Binder and Jane Newman and Robert Rothstein and Jeremy Parati and Judy Hollander and Jay Beninoff, Luke Weisberg, Bruce Manning, Ben Goldfarb, and Amy Funk. And I send love and wishes of strength and health to former President Sumner Richmond. So I honor Jeremy Parati, who's going to be doing double duty tonight. He's going to play Kol Nidrei, and then he will join his colleagues as former board presidents. So let's just take a moment. The Kol Nidrei service, there's no warm-up. We just jump all the way in together. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to jump all the way in. So let's just take a moment before we open the ark and take our breath. In a moment, I'll invite you to rise in body and spirit as the ark is opened and ask that you please do what your body needs, which means if you need to sit at any point during these recitations, please, please do. Please rise as the ark is opened. Come, come, whoever you are, even though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, come again. Come, come, whoever you are, even though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, come again. Come, come, whoever you are, even though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, come again. B'shiva Shemala, even though you've broken your vows 1,000 times. Come, come again. Al dat hamakom ve'al dat hakal, anu matirin להתפלל עם עבריינים בשיבה של מעלה ובשיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירים להתפלל עם עבריינים בשיבה של מעלה ובשיבה של מטה, על דעת המקום ועל דעת הקהל, אנו מתירים להתפלל עם העבריינים.
Nidrei is found on page 18.
Al nafshata
Shevikin, Shevitin, Betelin umevutalin, Lasheririn, Velakayamin, Nidrana. Nidrei Vesarana la esarei Ushevuatana la Shavuot.
We turn to page 20.
ונסלח לכל הדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל עם בשגגה ונסלח לכל הדת בני ישראל ולגר הגר בתוכם כי לכל עם בשגגה סלח נא לעוונם הזה כי גודל חסדך וכאשר נסעת לעם הזה ממצרים ועד הנה ושם נאמר ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדברך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדברך ויאמר אדוני סלחתי כדברך.
Page 9.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
In a moment, we'll put the Torah away and close the ark, at which point it can be seated, but not quite yet. In the meantime, I'd love to invite up Naomi Silber to offer us a word of Torah. You all can be seated.
Shana Tova. About 10 years ago, I met my friend Eliza at an international Jewish summer camp in Hungary. And she was the most observant person my age I had ever met. So one day we were talking and I was asking her about her observance, the usual questions a curious 17-year-old asks, like, do you pre-rip your toilet paper? She mentioned that she didn't shower on Shabbat, and I quote, unless, of course, I feel really gross and then I won't be able to focus on Shabbos. I was baffled. Eliza was a girl who sobbed after eating Cheetos because she was worried that she misread the label and they weren't actually kosher. They were, Baruch Hashem. But here she was telling me that she sometimes showered on Shabbat if she felt gross. A brief summary of our conversation. Do you have to ask your rabbi first? I asked. Do I have to ask my rabbi if I can shower? Yes. No, that would be super weird, Naomi. So how do you make the decision on if you should shower? She looked at me like I was stupid. She said, if I feel too gross on Shabbat, I shower. My rabbi can't make that decision about if I feel too gross, only I can. So how does this relate to right here at a Reform synagogue in a Catholic church / gymnasium on Kol Nidrei? Basically, I'm telling you to eat tomorrow if you think you need to eat. I've always eaten on Yom Kippur, and I've always felt bad about it. I take meds that make me incredibly ill if I don't take them with food, and so I've never fasted. And what I hate is that I'm up here justifying to all of you about why I eat on Yom Kippur. I don't need to justify this to you or to a rabbi or ask my doctor first. I know my body, and I know I can't fast. So let's not start the year by ignoring our body or justifying our decisions about our health and our autonomy to people. Let's also not start the year by asking people if they're fasting, because why do you care? I wasn't expecting that to get a laugh. In a world in which our bodily autonomy is slowly being ripped away, from women, from queer folks, from people of color, especially those who are Black and Indigenous, let's not do that to ourselves and to each other. You know what is best for your body, mind, and soul, and that's enough. Shana Tova.
Shkoyach, Naomi. We'll rise in body and our spirit on page 22 for Baruch. As you get up, feel free to stretch your body a little, feel what you might need in this moment. You can be seated. As we transition into our evening service, I want to offer my practice of entering these prayers in this moment. When I was a young kid, my older brother had a high holiday suit that would come out only for this time of year. It was brown and weirdly fuzzy and deeply, deeply soft. Think of a 1990s boy suit made out of Chewbacca. We were never a cuddly family, but for some reason, every time I heard the musical theme of the high holiday evening service, I would snuggle up against my brother's soft suit and feel utterly at home. In blessing the darkness on page 24 of our Machzor, and all the other feelings and nagging anxieties and hurts and hopes of these holidays, I invite you to find those flashes of feeling deeply at home, of snuggling up against the softest suit. We turn to page 24, bottom of the page. Baruch atah Adonai Amahariv Haravim. On this holiday of healing brokenness, let's take a second to bless the complications of love, the moments in this past year where our relationships with loved ones have been full and messy, never easy, and totally whole. We bless love on page 26. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. And as we pause before the Shema, I just want to ask if the owner of a black Mercedes sedan license plate, MLB 331, now think black Mercedes sedan, MLB 331, if you can please meet our staff in the back of the front doors, we would be very grateful. And now that you've listened to this announcement, we can listen to the Shema.
You'll find the Shema on page 28. Feel free to stand in body or spirit if it's your tradition. Sorry, Joe. I'm just impressed that you didn't do it in Musa. Shema Yisrael. You can be seated. We turn to page 30. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושינתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Page 32. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם emet. A poem as we arrive at the shores of the sea, as we sing words our mythic ancestors sang as they crossed from the narrows to the wilderness, the sea reborn in you. To those of you who can't hear the sea today, to those of you who are cooped up, confined, locked away, I pray your muses will arrive, addressing your shrouded hearts, transmitting the starry echoes of the wave, the soft crackle of foam and sand, the rustling sparkle of salt, the gray songs of the seabirds, and the sea will be reborn in you, throbbing, dying, throbbing, dying, throbbing. May we release ourselves to the crossing. May we sing our way together towards aliveness. Mi Chamocha is found on page 40.
Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Kamocha Medar B'Kodesh, Nora Tehilo, Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael.
We turn to number 2 in your outline, in your supplement. We move from that just total beauty into a quiet Amidah. We'll start together on page 46 and then go into quiet on page 47 through page 80. Later in the service, we'll form fists and knock those fists against our chests. For this Amidah, I invite you, if you'd like, to consider the stuff in your life that you're wanting to knock apart, the patterns, anxieties, self-doubts that could use to be broken down. Please rise in body or spirit. We'll start together on page 46.
Adonai, Sifatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha, So this Devar Torah begins with a mystery. I've invoked our name, Shir Tikvah, Song of Hope, countless times over this last year. And after talking about it for the n-teenth time, I started wondering, where does our name come from? After all, there's the Song of the Sea, there's Song of Songs, there's Miriam's song, there's Deborah's song, but nowhere in our canon is a Shir Tikvah, is a song of hope mentioned. The absence of a specific song of hope in our texts piqued my interest. What is a Shir Tikvah? Where does our name come from? Our tradition puts such emphasis on names. Names contain our hopes, they express our yearning, and they mark moments of transformation. Names have the power to root us in our past and to open our way to the future. And so in this context, naming our sacred community collectives, our synagogues, has taken on profound cultural significance. And we, Shir Tikvah, with this powerful, evocative name, without a clear textual source, are invited, like each generation of creative commentators and midrash makers before us, to face the mystery and endeavor to make meaning. So I stand before you tonight, not simply as rabbi, but as humble amateur sleuth, armed with dictionaries and Jewish texts and history, and with a gut sense that what our name lacks in obvious derivation, it makes up for in the ways that it has charted our course over these last decades, and even in what it asks of us today. So on Friday evening, August 12th, 1988, a group of people gathered in St. Paul to make a momentous decision, to undertake a communal process of naming themselves. Now, I am grateful to the congregants who were present that night who have shared their memories with me, To the congregants who were present that night who confessed that they have no memory of how the process worked, there are many of you. To those who shared peripheral stories to help me better understand the first years of our community, and especially to our emerita rabbi, Rabbi Stacy Offner, who sent me her Dvar Torah from that auspicious night, and who shared with me her memories and impressions. What an archivist. Tonight, we are celebrating the birth of ourselves, and we get to participate in our own naming, declared Rabbi Offner on that evening. She continued, though this is a wonderfully fun project, it's not an easy task because of the important responsibility it implies. According to Jewish tradition, the task of naming is critically important because giving someone or something a name is understood to be giving it a direction. When we name our congregation, she said, we're giving it a new shape. It feels significant to mention that our community was being led by Minnesota's first female rabbi and first out lesbian rabbi, and was, as a splinter community led by a vanguard of visionary people and families, a tender and vulnerable and exciting undertaking. Shir Tikvah was born out of a shakeup, out of unmet need, and a claiming of possibility. And we should be so proud of that claiming and of that courage. And I imagine we also shouldn't underestimate the cost, the exposure that our founders felt. We shouldn't underestimate the stakes in starting a new community, nor what it took for Rabbi Offner to step into this new role 4 years after ordination and just months after departing a pulpit. The wild rush of saying publicly, we're building something new. We choose each other, and this inspiring, emerging embodiment of our tradition. So that night in August, 7 names had been proposed, and they were shared with those assembled. And Rabbi Offner then drashed each name. Am Echad, one people. Just imagine, we can try them on. It's like dressing up in costumes. And if any of these names were your ideas, please raise your hands. Am Echad, one people. Habonim, the builders. Now I'm really curious. Or Chadash, new light. Rodef Shalom, seekers of peace. Shir Shalom, song of peace. Shir Tikvah, song of hope. And the old standby, the new Reform congregation. Am Echad, one people, is derived from Torah, taught Rabbi Offner, from God's description of the builders of the Tower of Babel. Okay, I can imagine the people thinking that night, while the Tower of Babel was an impressive and ambitious community endeavor, perhaps we shouldn't claim that rebellious bunch as direct ancestors. When considering names with shalom in them, Rabbi Offner helpfully offered that in the history of congregations that start off as splinter groups from other congregations, about 99% of them have the word shalom in their name, which is an amazing psychological commentary on our people. It's as though Rabbi Offner was encouraging the community to think beyond their moment, to choose a name that spoke for who the community would become without always referencing its origin story. Now, when considering Shir Tikvah, Song of Hope, Rabbi Offner taught Judaism has always placed supreme importance on our capacity to hope. In fact, in a time of despair, we are commanded to have hope. There is strength in hope and there is strength in song. Shir Tikvah is a strong name and an optimistic name. She said, as is written in the book of Job, Uvatachta ki yesh tikvah, you will be confident because there is hope. Now, it feels important to interject at this point that if, when insisting that Judaism places great importance on hope, you have to quote from the book of Job, there are probably some important follow-up questions to be asked. Job, after all, is not exactly our shining star of positivity in any conventional definition. And in fact, the verse that Rabbi Offner quotes is actually the voice of Job's friend, Zophar, who has come to try to comfort Job, only to have Job spend the next chapters clapping back and poking holes in Zophar's reassurance. Be confident, be secure because there's hope. Job seems to scoff in return. Have you seen the shambles that is my life? Tikvah comes from the root kuf vav he. Its root means to wait for, derived from the Assyrian word that means to twist or to stretch. It evokes the tension of enduring as you wait. It's a visceral word that asks us to feel something, to respond in our bodies to the experience of stretching in anticipation, of reaching out for what is tarrying. And from this cluster of associations emerges tikvah, emerges hope. Tikvah is anticipating that which is not yet achieved, the dearly hoped for future. It's the willingness to endure discomfort and uncertainty because we believe so much in that which we long for might come to be. Let us remember, taught Elie Wiesel in his 1986 Nobel Prize acceptance speech. Let us remember Job, our ancestor, Job, our contemporary. He spoke, his ordeal concerns all humanity. Did he ever lose faith? If so, he rediscovered it within his rebellion. He demonstrated that faith is essential to rebellion and that hope is possible beyond despair. The source of his hope was memory, as it must be ours. Because I remember, I despair. Because I remember, I have the duty to reject despair. I remember the killers, he said. I remember the victims, even as I struggle to invent 1,001 reasons to hope. So it wasn't that Zophar, Job's friend, was wrong about the importance of hope or about what hope offers to those who cultivate it. He just fell short in his insistence that Job be confident, be secure in his hope. By getting closer to the root of the word tikvah, and by listening to those who have claimed hope in the midst of destruction, we can start to sense that hope is a stretchy, tense proposition. Hope is dynamic. Hope is a struggle. Memory produces hope in the same way that amnesia produces despair, the theologian Walter Brueggemann noted. Grounds for hope lie in the records and recollections of the past that need leave nothing out, seeking not to create a tidy narrative towards a specific outcome, be confident we know how this goes, but rather offering, as Rebecca Solnit writes, a memory commensurate to the complexity of the past and the whole cast of participants, a memory that includes our power, produces that forward-directed energy called hope. When we remember expansively, inclusively, we gain access to a hope that aims our energy towards action and towards possibility. In my quest to find the source text for our name, I turned to other rabbis who had founded Shir Tikvah congregations around the country. I turned to Rabbi Ariel Stone of Shir Tikvah in Portland, Oregon. That's right, there are 2 Rabbi Ariels leading congregations, Shir Tikvah. Rabbi Ariel offered that her community had claimed the notion of tikvah because they were hopeful that they could create the shul that they dreamed of coming into being. Rabbi Rim Meyerowitz, the founder of Shir Tikvah in Wayland, Massachusetts, pointed me to a text from Mechilta de Rabbi Yishmael, midrash on the book of Exodus that was compiled in the 3rd century, which he cited as the root text for their Shir Tikvah. In that midrash, the righteous women in the generation that left Egypt were so confident that God would perform miracles, they decided to bring their drums and their timbrels with them, their tools of celebration and hope. Even before they had any reason to trust what was coming, they opened themselves to the possibility that they would want to offer a song of thanks. What was their Shir Tikvah, their song of hope? Let's imagine that it was the sound of their instruments as they carried them, as they walked towards the sea. Let's imagine it was the heartbeat rhythm of the drums bumping against the backs and elbows of the women as they walked, the shimmering sound of tambourines as they shifted in the hands of those moving through the narrowest place. Hope locates itself in the premise that we don't know what will happen, and that in the spaciousness of uncertainty is room to act. writes Rebecca Solnit. It is the belief that what we do matters, even though how and when it may matter, who and what it may impact, are not things we can know beforehand. Our mythic ancestors, choosing to bring drums and tambourines in place of provisions, opened the way to the first praise song offered in our tradition. They made space for the possibility of joy even in the midst of abrupt departure, even without knowing whether they'd ever be able to use those instruments on the other side. Who can imagine their grief in leaving, the fear of their flight? As the Israelites left Egypt, let's not think that this was some sort of easy or pleasurable hike. And yet, in this Midrash's formulation, our ancestors reached for something new, something not obvious. In claiming a place for musical instruments on their march towards freedom, our mythic ancestors started living a more liberated, more connected life, even before they'd crossed the sea into the wilderness. Suppose you had the revolution you are talking and dreaming about, invites Paul Goodman, social critic. Suppose your side had won and you had the kind of society you wanted. How would you live, you personally, in that society? And then he said, start living that way now. Goodman might as well have been quoting Rabbi Isaiah Halevi Horovitz and his 16th century midrash, Shnei Luchot HaBrit, which imagines the generations to come who only have to hear good news to start singing praise. He taught, in the future, our people will give thanks by means of a song as soon as we are told good news, even before the good news comes to be. In other words, in the future, our people will only need to receive a hint of what's coming to start living as though that hoped-for reality were already here. And we won't write thank you notes about it. We won't whisper our gratitude. Our praise will flow in currents of song. Our song will be the vehicle that will carry our descendants from their current moment to their hoped-for future. They will stake their claims in what is to come with their breath, their harmony, and their soulful sound. I think many of us had that feeling on Rosh Hashanah as we sang together on YouTube and Zoom and in this sanctuary with a feeling of connection and yearning and joy. Maybe you felt it during the Torah Hakafah, when it took us 30 minutes to get all the way around the room. Maybe you felt it when we were jumping up and down at the end of that very long Rosh Hashanah service. Maybe you felt it when we were singing Avinu Malkeinu with full hearts and so much longing. We were singing out, grounded in the strength of our community. And we were singing a song that felt like it didn't totally belong to our moment. A moment when we are still navigating the challenges of being a community in major leadership transition, reckoning with our legacy, not to mention getting reoriented in the context of pandemic. Our song felt so fresh and surprising. Our song felt easy and proud. Our song waited for no invitation to carry us to gratitude, to wonder, to connection with each other. We didn't have to know where we were going or to have figured everything out. We were singing like we were already there. We have a lot to figure out as a community. We have a lot to undo, renew, and reclaim. This past year has asked us to work to clarify who we are and what we are committed to as a community. And it has asked so much of our congregation and our lay leaders, and it has asked so much of Shir Tikvah's staff and its rabbis. In the time to come, we will explore together about what Shir Tikvah's process of tshuva and repair will look like. How will we as a community make amends and take responsibility for harm that has been endured here? How will we hold together to learn from where we've fallen short and be exceptionally tender and loving with each other along the way? How will we root in the founding vision of our community to find our way through, even as we attend to the community we are becoming, to the new possibilities that are blossoming? We know that the aim of tshuva isn't to return to where we've been. It's the possibility of new pathways of behavior, new possibilities of connection, new possibilities of self-expression and action. So in this context, in this shake and strangeness, in this absorption of so much change and challenge, our communal song this season is joyful, unreasonably connected, transcendent, and nourishing. So as we sing this song of joy and love and connection, as we sing this song of hope on the threshold of the new year, we live out the Midrash's vision of the people to come, that with the smallest opening, the slightest hint that there might be healing on the horizon, we lift our songs of gratitude and possibility. This season, our song is the song of hope of our founders who dreamt of a shul that would offer a wild and loving embrace to all comers, that would wrestle with our tradition even as it lovingly embodied it. And our song is a song that has never been sung before, a song of this minyan, of this moment, the collective song of each of us who chooses to be here, each of us who claims a place here, each of us on YouTube and Zoom and here in the sanctuary singing out bravely, wildly, and humbly. So 34 years after naming ourselves Song of Hope, we claim our hopeful song anew. May this song lift us, sustain us, and lay the ground for all the beauty and connection and joy that is yet to come. Gamar Chatima Tova.
We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We'll know we're there. We are going, heaven knows where we are going. We'll know we're there. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going. We'll know we're there. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. We are going. Heaven knows where we are going. We'll know we're there. We will get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will. It will be hard, we know, and the road will be muddy and rough, but we'll get there. Heaven knows how we will get there. We know we will.
One more just huge shkoyach. I feel like there's been several different times that I've felt like I've landed in this community and that your words just feel like such a gentle landing. Thank you. In a moment, we'll transition into praying for those in our life who are in need of healing. To make that transition from hope to prayer, let's take a big breath in and out. I invite people online to type the names of anyone you're thinking about into the Zoom or YouTube chat. For people here, Rabbi Ariel and myself will each look around the room from outside to inside. Feel free to speak the name or names of anyone that's on your heart tonight. Afterwards, we'll sing together number 3 in your supplement, starting from the outside.
Rifayenu Adonai v'nei rafeh, Hoshienu v'ani v'shiach, El karov l'kol karov, HaKarov l're'av hashov. We pray for healing of the body
as we move into the Al-Khet, into our chance to confront the ways that we have fallen short and missed the mark in the last year, in the wake of violence against Black bodies this year and every year since the founding of this country, I want to offer an excerpt of Al-Khet for Black Lives, written by Black Jewish leader Yavila McCoy. I'm going to invite us to rise in body and spirit and to allow this Al-Khet, if we want to knock on our hearts with our closed hand, or if we want to remind our hearts to open with our open hand. But let us begin this time of confession. For the sins we have committed through conscious and unconscious racial bias, for the sins we have committed through hardening our hearts to the need for change, for the sins of colluding with racism both openly and secretly, for the sins we have committed through uttering racist words, for the sins we have committed through acts of racial microaggression, for the sins we have committed through the denial of Tselem Elohim, the divine spark within Black bodies, for the sins we have committed through confessing our commitment to ending racism insincerely, for the sins we have committed that desecrate the divine name by allowing white supremacy to shape and determine our practice of Judaism, for the sins of racism that we have committed knowingly and unknowingly that continue to do damage to our siblings, our children, our families, and community. We recite a long litany of our transgressions this year, and they're recited in plural. For whether we as individuals committed the acts we read or not, we acknowledge that we are in some way implicated. We are one human family. We take responsibility for the ways we have each fallen short in our lives and in our communal life. So as we read these words, we add in our own specifics from our lives and our communities that we seek atonement for. So you are invited to join together to sing aloud as we recite the words of Vidui, our confession, and we knock on our hearts with palms open or closed, a somatic practice that calls us to presence. Vidui is found. We'll begin together in our supplement on number 4, and then we'll continue on page 82.
Oh, we can take back what is done, what is past. So let us lay down our fears. Oh, we can take back what is done, what is past. So
We continue together on page 86 with Vidui Rabbah, our long confession. You're invited to join with Rabbi Joey and with me in Hebrew, to recite in English, to find your own words, to find our rhythm through. We will move through pages 86 through 90 together.
You're welcome to continue standing in body, and also spirit at any point can take over your standing if you want to give your legs a break. Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha bezadon uvishgaga, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'dibar peh.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha be'imut salem, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tifshut peh.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chachash uv'chazar, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'irchilut.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'flilut, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'zilzorim umorim.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'vidui ve'al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chanoah re'ah.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'chozek yad, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'masa u'b'matan. Ve'al kulam Eloah selichot, selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'galui ve'haster, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'frikat al.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'gilui arayot, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'machal u'b'mishte.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'yetzer hara, ve'al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'nefesh u'b'dmir bi.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'latzon, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'intiyat karot.
Page 90, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'sinat chinam, ve'al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tumat tzafatayim.
Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'lshon hara, Al-chet shechatanu lefanecha b'tzarut ayin. Ve'al kulam Eloah selichot, selach lanu mechalanu kapelanu.
You can take a seat for just one quick sec. In a moment, we'll call out the words of the 13 attributes. We'll chant a passage from the book of Exodus, calling God by all of God's good names: compassionate, slow to anger, abounding in kindness, until we get to 13 names. Then we stop and we repeat. There's something remarkable about this list. When we find this passage in Exodus, it doesn't stop after 13 nice names. Rather, it goes on, and we hear God by not so nice names. God who punishes those who sin, and not only that, but punishes the kids and grandkids of those who sin. The rabbis, the crafter of our liturgy, make a strategic edit. The rabbis, they stop us before we can remind the divine that God carries a grudge. This might land on us as disingenuous or as a manipulation of the tradition, misquoting God and Torah to make the world, less scary. However, for me, I love this edit. I love the idea that close reading and rewriting are at the core of Jewish religious life. So as we call out tonight, we call out not only to a God who shows compassion, but also to ancestors who show us how to draw our own spiritual map. We rise in body or spirit for the 13 attributes on page 100.
Adonai, Adonai, El Rachum V'Chanun, Erech Apayim, V'Rav Chesed V'Emet, Notzer Chesed La'alafim, Notzer Avon V'Fesha. We continue together. You may be seated on page 110. מי שענה לשרה אימנו בזקנתה הוא יעננו. מי שענה לאברהם אבינו בהר המוריה הוא יעננו. מי שענה As we turn to Avinu Malkeinu, we call out Shema Kolenu, hear our voices. As the ark is opened, I pray that we pay attention to the Kol D'mama Daka, the thin, small voice inside of each of us, the voice that is calling us to attention, calling us to humility, calling us to the tshuva that we need to undertake. So Avinu Malkeinu is found on page 114, number 38 in your transcript. I invite you, please, to rise in body and spirit as the ark is opened.
קבל ברחמים וברצון את תפילתנו. אבינו מלכנו, עשה עמנו למען שמך. אבינו מלכנו, עשה למענך, אם לא למעננו. אבינו מלכנו, אין לנו מלך אלא אתה. אבינו מלכנו, פתח שערי שמיים לתפילתנו. אבינו מלכנו, שמע קולנו, חוס ורחם עלינו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו מעשים. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד. עשה עמנו צדקה וחסד, והושיענו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו. אבינו מלכנו, חוננו בנינו, כי אין בנו
You may be seated. It's my honor to invite up the fabulous Funk Farbs, Ben Goldfarb and Amy Funk, to join us on the bima to address us as presidents.
Lashana Tova. A good and sweet new year. Hi, I'm Amy Funk. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm co-president of the Board of Trustees with Ben Goldfarb. We sometimes refer to ourselves as the Funk Farb administration, or as Rabbi Ariel likes to call us, the fabulous Funk Farbs. Lest there be any doubt, I bring the funk. I'm honored to speak to you this evening. Hine ma tovu ma'anayim sheva chahim gam yachad. How good it is to be gathered here in unity. I love our multimodal services, one of the few good things to come out of the pandemic. And I especially love the camaraderie, the community that has developed on Zoom. Rabbi Ariel's singing of their soulful blessings to us each Shabbat has become my favorite part of the service. Nevertheless, I cannot deny how powerful it is to be here in person with all of you, to see you, to hear you, to hug, and to speak without fear of being admonished that I'm on mute. Why co-presidents for the first time in our history? Rest assured, this does not mean you're going to have to listen to us for twice as long. There are two of us because 5783 is not going to be business as usual. We have a lot of work to do rebuilding the organizational infrastructure that will enable us to live our values in all aspects of synagogue life. We have come through a tumultuous year with more staff and clergy changes than anyone would have liked. Frankly, the number, timing, and significance of those changes could, I think, bring many organizations to their knees. But as I look out at all of you, as I feel our collective strength, it is clear that the ruach, the resilience of Shir Tikvah is strong. How good it is to be gathered in unity. The events of the last year pushed the executive committee and board to take a hard look at our culture and practices and to ask difficult questions. We learned that our governance, policies, and procedures were lacking in critical areas for a congregation of our size. No longer a little shul, we are now 565 families with a professional staff of 9. There is need for greater clarity around decision-making, roles, and responsibilities. To better understand these challenges and begin the process of repentance and repair, we launched working groups focused on organizational structure and values. The Governance and Organizational Restructuring Group, also known as GORE, led by the brilliant and talented Lily Benowitz and Harry Adler, has already done some powerful work. They wisely chose to look back in order to chart a better path forward. Among other things, they interviewed past presidents, looked at archival material, reviewed back issues of Shir Tikvah, our former monthly newsletter, which provided a remarkably clear picture of Shir Tikvah through the years. One of their many learnings was that as our membership grew rapidly and we transitioned from a primarily volunteer congregational workforce to professional staff, we let many committees fall by the wayside. In the past, committees were key to carry on the work and promote the purpose of Shir Tikvah, as well as providing a meaningful way for congregants to engage. It is not an either-or proposition. We need both. And part of our work in 5783 will be to reinvigorate committees. 34 years ago, Rabbi Offner, our founding rabbi, credited the creation of Shir Tikvah to a creative energy that arose from a shared, strong sense of commitment and purposefulness. I still feel that sense of commitment and purposefulness, and I know that many of you do as well. Let's harness that creative energy and work together to put in place structures that will help build the Shir Tikvah of our dreams.
Thanks. Hi, everyone. I'm Ben Goldfarb. I am the Farb in the Funk Farb administration, which I know goes without saying is not as cool as bringing the funk, but I do the best I can with what I've got. I use he, him pronouns, and I am deeply honored to be with you here tonight. I speak to you tonight as we move from the sweetness of apples and honey to the hard work of Yom Kippur, of repair and repentance. And this year, one of significant challenge and change for Shir Tikvah, there is a lot to reflect on, to commit and recommit ourselves to as we live into our next chapter as a fierce, loving, holy community. Last month at our board retreat, as the new group came together for the first time, we started by reflecting on Shir Tikvah's vision statement, our most concise expression of what we believe ourselves to be, at least on our best days, and also what we are continually trying to become. The vision statement reads, Shir Tikvah is a Kehila Kedosha, holy community, joyfully revealing the intersections of Talmud Torah, lifelong Torah study, tefillah, prayer, tzedakah, justice, and hachnasat orchim, radical hospitality. We creatively wrestle with tradition and innovation as we invigorate Jewish spiritual life and transform the world. We asked ourselves, what here most resonates with you? What most speaks to why you've chosen to make Shir Tikvah such a big part of your life and to commit so much of yourself to it? Tonight, I might add, what are we most proud of? Where have we fallen short? And what commitments will we make to continue growing and becoming? While I'm just beginning this journey, both as co-president and for this Yom Kippur, I can tell you that I have been and will be reflecting a lot on radical hospitality. My own Shir Tikvah story started 21 years ago as a young community and political organizer who somehow found himself managing an election campaign of one of Shir Tikvah's founders, someone I got to pass a Torah to tonight, amazingly. Though I didn't know it at the time, this would prove to be an important moment in my life as an unaffiliated, kinda sorta Jew who was somewhere between disinterested and outright skeptical of organized religion. But that year and for the decade to follow, I had the experience of being continually invited in, time and again, by more and more people I knew who were part of this community, to high holy days, to Shabbat services, to organizing events, to be mitzvahs and life cycle events. Sometimes I said yes, a lot of the time I said no, but these people I loved and respected just kept asking, inviting, welcoming. About 10 years ago, with a 4-year-old daughter and baby twins, after many, many steps forward, backward, and side to side, like many of you, we came to know that Shir Tikvah was the faith community we wanted to be a part of and to invest in. And since then, this experience of being asked, invited, welcomed has only deepened. It's a profound understatement to say that Shir Tikvah has been blessed by extraordinary leadership and contributions from our rabbis, professional staff, lay leaders, and so many congregants for decades, and especially through this last year. You've held us through uncertainty, and in this moment, honored us with the opportunity to imagine a powerful future for this holy community. And for that, we thank you. And now, as we look ahead, it's no secret that we have a lot of work to do to strengthen our community from the inside out. This work will require us to build on our practices in multiple dimensions of radical hospitality. First, perhaps the most familiar and still, of course, essential, is to welcome those who are new to Shir Tikvah. Second, to deeply engage and welcome or welcome back those who have been connected but are on the margins in some way. And finally, to welcome and invite those of you who already feel a strong sense of belonging to find new and deeper ways to invest. This work of welcoming is not just for the staff, the board, or committee members. It takes all of us. The good news is that while we don't always get it right, we're not starting from scratch. There are strands of this way of welcoming woven deeply into our collective tapestry. So as Amy mentioned, you have been and will be asked, invited, and welcomed to bring your time and talent to the work ahead. And right now, before we wrap up, we'll ask you to bring your financial support as well.
You knew it was coming. The Jewish tradition of giving at High Holy Days has always been an important time for fundraising at Shir Tikvah. Our goal this year is to raise $56,000. We're more than halfway there, with $36,552 raised so far. I know we can exceed the goal. I'm not going to repeat all of the reasons why you should make a donation. If you chose to be here tonight, in person, on Zoom, via YouTube, you know what is so special about Shir Tikvah. And it goes without saying that money is required for all that we do. So please give in whatever amount is meaningful and doable for you, but do give. Every amount makes a difference, even $18. By donating $18, Chai, you are literally and figuratively giving life to Shir Tikvah. Gemar Chatima Tova.
May you have a good final sealing,
Tzom Kal,
an easy fast.
Shana Tova.
Thank you. Thank you so much to Amy and to Ben. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for saying yes. We'll turn now to Aleinu, page 116, V'hashevota. Please rise in body and spirit. We're just preparing for Ne'ilah. This is all warm up for Ne'ilah. V'hashevota is found 4 lines from the bottom, 3 words from the end of the 4th line. V'hashevota el levavecha
move towards the Mourner's Kaddish, from just like peppiest of peppy tunes towards taking a deep breath and remembering those in our lives that we've lost. Let's take one big breath in together and out. If it's your tradition, or if you're remembering someone tonight, feel free to stand in body or spirit on page 122. Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divra chirute ve'amlich malchute, be'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, Bagala uvizman kariv v'yimru. Yehi shma rabba mevarach le'olam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shnei dekutsha b'richu. Le'ela u'le'la mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma v'yimu. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al Yisrael v'yimu. Amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, u'yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al Yisrael, ve'al Yoshe Tevel, v'yimru. Amen. I invite up our board secretary, Abby Shane, to give announcements.
You may be seated.
Hi, Shir Tikvah. My name is Abby Shane. I'm the secretary of the Board of Trustees. I am a light-skinned woman with dark hair pulled back, wearing a floral shmata, as my mom would say. Hi, Mom. She's on Zoom. Thank you for being with us tonight. It's such a joy to be together. At the end of the service, please return the prayer books to the usher table. Please return any of the supplements that you will not use again, separated from the C door. Please pick up your children from childcare and youth programming promptly after the service. Students are invited to greet Forrest at the education table for a treat following the service. Tomorrow morning, Young Family Services will start at 9:30 a.m. and grown-up services will begin at 10:30 a.m. A false binary, in my opinion. Between morning services and Yitzchor, Shir Tikvah community members, including me, will offer a series of Jewish learning programs, both in person and on Zoom. You can find information about those classes in your program or on the website. Our Yitzchor memorial service will start at 5 p.m., and our Ne'ilah closing service will begin at 6:15, followed by a community break fast at 7 p.m. In this time of renewal, consider joining the Shir Tikvah Caring Community, the perfect volunteer gig for a busy person. Even a once or twice a year act of kindness, this sounds like an infomercial, such as providing a meal, attending a shiva, giving a ride, or making a visit, or sending a card, can go a long way when someone needs support. And so many of us know that from the support we've received from the caring community in the past year. Tomorrow before services, the caring community will have a table in the lobby where you can learn more and sign up, where there's always a link in the e-news. In the spirit of giving during the High Holy Days, we invite you to make a donation to support our services. You can do so in the atrium on your way out, and staff or everybody's friend, Barry Epstein, can be of assistance. Thank you to all of those who made tonight possible. Our rabbi team, our prayer leaders, Kestrel Feiner-Homer, MJ Gilbert, and Brian Becker. Our choir director, Luann Matosian, our accompanist, Eric Brook, and our powerful Shir Tikvah choir. Thank you to those who contributed their words to this service. Thank you to our Makom Minyan, to our wonderful ASL interpreter team, to our ushers and our shomrim, to our fabulous staff, Forrest, Gordon, Jess, Nick, and Raina, and to Twin Cities Sound and our hosts at St. Joan of Arc. Shana Tova.
Let's close in song, knowing that it's only a see you really soon. So much love to people on Zoom and YouTube, to this beautiful community holding it down in the gym. What a joy. Let's sing together on page 96. Ya'ale kolenu, may our voices rise. Chatima Tova. Good Yantif. See you soon.
That was such a oh, you Joshua.